and gentlemen, welcome to the perfect match. It is said you don't get in life what you want, you get in life who you are. You only attract to you who you already are. This is episode 2 of the perfect match, and our names have not changed. Her name changed. We are Mr. and Mrs.
Mrs.
Purpose.
Purpose.
She's Favor,
And he is Noah.
and we are going to be looking at an exciting topic this evening: how to become a more desirable person, to attract that perfect match, or to um, make sure, if you're in a relationship already, make sure that relationship sails to the very next level, which could be marriage for you. And if you're already married and you're watching this, to make your marriage more desirable, more fun, more purposeful. And that's what we're going to be looking at. So this evening, we are looking at the topic desirability versus availability. I'll say that one more time: desirability versus availability. And before we go further, I'll just read a verse from the Bible, the most desirable book, in our opinion, in the entire universe. So, it's second epistle of Peter, chapter 1, verse 4 and 5. It says, "Whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these we might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world through lust. And beside this, giving all diligence, add to your faith." Then the Bible begins to list the things that we need to add to become more desirable. But there was a particular line there, said, "We have already received the divine nature of God." Every individual, I'm sure, will want to go to heaven, because heaven is the most desirable place. Heaven is every every normal human being's destination. You want to leave this world and be in heaven. So what we are going to be looking at today is how to make your partner see being in a relationship with you as being in a relationship with a citizen of heaven. How to create heaven on earth through your behavior, through your lifestyle, through your nature. Because according to this verse, we have been given this nature already, but we must now do something to it that will make us more desirable. So this evening we're looking at PVC, the way to becoming more desirable. So PVC, the way to becoming more desirable. Some people couldn't vote in the last elections. Did you vote in the last elections?
I didn't. I couldn't because I didn't have my PVC.
Oh my God, that happened to a lot of Nigerians. Some people's PVCs were in the east and they were in Lagos. They had relocated, so they could not carry out their heart's desire. So we're sharing on Perfect Match this evening that with your PVC, you can make great impact on first contact with either a beautiful lady you're meeting for the first time, or a handsome gentleman that seems to have those qualities you wonderful ladies have been praying to God for. But with your PVC intact with you, you can make that great first impact that can lead to this person deciding to spend forever with you. So my wife will start the story. We're going to use our own story to lay a foundation. So, honey, how did we meet?
Okay. We were both invited by an organization to come do what we know how to do. And he is a self-discovery and leadership coach
For
teenagers. And I am an etiquette coach for teenagers as well. Now, an organization invited both of us to come and train the teenagers in our call. And we went for it.
We had not met to this time.
At that time.
Okay.
So we accepted the invitation and we went. Coincidentally or not, my session was before his. And I took my session and I left. Now, he came in after I left, so we didn't get to meet. However, we were still invited for a dinner night
by the
by the
same
same
organization.
organization later on in the year. And that was when we were able to actually meet properly,
Mm.
physically, and
Like they
he,
say, the rest is history.
yeah.
If you want to hear the full version, well, we're going to give you the full version next week. But you see, that story looks like a coincidence. But we believe that God is the perfect matchmaker,
Maker.
looking for two volunteers to come together in the vehicle of marriage to carry about his own thoughts, his own vision on the earth. So we are very sure that two of us are perfectly matched by God to carry out our PVC. So, what is PVC? You might be wondering. No, it doesn't mean your permanent voter's card. P in that acronym stands for your purpose. To recognize your perfect match, you ought to have discovered what God's purpose for or your own life is way before you meet that person. And when you don't know who you are, you will attract the wrong things to your life. So, for me as a man, by God's help, I had discovered many years ago that my core reason for being on this earth is to preach the gospel, teach, and be an inspirational speaker. Then my assignment to teenagers gave me that focus. And for 10 years or more, uh, I've been going about impacting the lives of teenagers, holding this seminar here in this school and that. We even started Africa's first self-discovery. I remember introducing myself to her. We're both strangers, and the first thing I said to her is, "I'm Africa's
Number one,
number one
self-discovery
self-discovery
and
and
leadership
leadership coach
coach.
for teenagers." And I
And that
saw,
got me. I was like, okay, nice.
so for you, gentlemen, how will for you to be a more desirable person, you must have discovered the main treasure that God put inside you. You must realize that you are a specific solution to a specific problem on the earth. You are not a local champion. And you must celebrate that unique treasure God put inside of you. If you don't appreciate you, no human being will appreciate you. You must believe in yourself like you are a religion. I'm going to allow my wife speak a bit more on that.
Okay, so we're talking about purpose. Having discovered your purpose will help you to be able to relate with the person. So you'll be able to have maybe a common ground and see how okay this relationship can actually flow. He knew his purpose, self-discovery. I knew mine, etiquette. So there was a common ground. There was something we could talk about. There was something we could relate with. And then when he came to introduce himself, he introduced himself based on what he does.
Yeah.
And I introduced myself as well based on what I do. And then apparently, his school was actually in need of an
Of an
etiquette
etiquette
coach.
coach, yeah.
And well, that was how I think he
So that
felt.
yeah, that was a stronger, beyond the beautiful face, the beautiful lips, lovely fingertips,
Hmm.
and lovely
Oh, you took
hips.
notes.
I took notes of all the physical attributes, but the words that came out of her lips were gracious. They sounded like the solution to an urgent problem that, as an organization, we've had for a long time, looking for an etiquette coach that could handle the one of the courses that we had developed strictly for girls that we called poise. And there was this um, lady with so much poise and so much swag. And moving close to her that night, I also realized that her perfume was on point. So your purpose will stand you out in a crowd of 1,000 people. If you are extremely very sure of your own identity in God, that makes you more desirable than just being available. You don't just want to be a face that a stranger can put a specific solution to. So if you come and you come to a lady and, my name is John. John who? Are you John the Baptizer? Or so your purpose will make you outstanding. The second point that will make you a more desirable person is when you are vision driven, when you are a
Okay.
man or a woman of vision.
I think we're going to be talking about that more in the next episode
Episode of the
of the
perfect
perfect
match.
match. However, in addition to the purpose, when you discover your purpose, it's one thing to actually discover it, and it's another thing to know how to introduce yourself
Yeah.
and what you do or what you are called to do. That word stuck with me. He said, we run Nigeria's premier self discovery and leadership school for teenagers, the first of its kind. And that word caught me. I have never forgotten it. However, he introduced himself to me properly. I introduced myself as well properly.
Yeah.
Some people do not know how to introduce themselves, and that's a little bit of etiquette. How to meet and greet.
Yeah.
How do you introduce yourself?
Mm-hmm.
With a handshake, with the proper words
With a smile.
that would leave
A
a lasting
lasting
impression. So, having discovered and your purpose, you should be able to introduce yourself to anybody, anywhere.
With the vision of leaving a positive, lasting impression.
Impression.
We are out of time, but not out of content. We will continue with letter V and letter C in the subsequent episodes. Remember always, a perfect relationship is
It's
not
not
between two perfect people, but between two imperfect people,
who are
just
perfect
perfect
for
for
each
each
other.
other.